everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to make a little tray, a little project tray using products from the Dollar Tree. So first of all, our encouraging word for today is Proverbs 8:11. Wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with her. So I like that one. Okay, so Dollar Tree. I've been doing some DIY kind of projects lately. Dollar Tree is awesome lately with its crafting supplies. I've got to say, they've really stepped up their game. Now, they have these little wooden trays. They have these kind with little star in them. They have a couple different styles of them. But today I'm going to be using this one and some of these tile stickers. And aren't these gorgeous? I mean, they look like mosaic tiles. So I am going to make this project tray for my friend. We also have some acrylic paint. Now, this is Tuscan Red Apple Barrel. I probably came from Walmart or something, but you can get paint at the Dollar Tree, and a paintbrush from the Dollar Tree, and a little paint palette from the Dollar Tree. Now, I wanted to stain this, and I thought I had some stain, but apparently I do not. And you're also going to need some glue, just regular old school glue. Hold on. Sorry, I forgot to get it. Had to go get it. So this regular old school glue, this is from Dollar Tree as well. And then we're going to be using, you do not have to. I am not sure if I will or not, but I might be using some resin in this. So I'll show you that if we get down to doing that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just pour my paint here in my little cups, and I'm going to paint this tray. So super simple. Whoops, I do want to take this tile off the bottom. Super simple, super quick. And we're just going to paint it, give it a couple of good coats, and let it dry. And I am going to paint the inside of the tray, even though I'm going to be putting these mosaic tiles in there. I still want it to just, be cohesive, and I don't want there to be any of the wood showing through, so I'm going to go ahead and paint the inside of the tray. So I'm just painting this whole thing with this apple barrel paint. This is just acrylic paint. You can use some polyurethane too with this project if you want to seal your tray, but I really probably won't. I don't really think that it needs it. This acrylic paint, it adheres very well to the wood. So, and unless they would like dunk it in water or something, I don't even know if it would come off then, but it wouldn't totally come off, but some of it may come off a little bit if they did, but I don't think I'm going to seal it with polyurethane. Now, if you wanted it to have a glossy look, you definitely could do that. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to paint the whole tray. I'm going to do the top, the sides, the inside, and the bottom. And make sure you get all your edges, like around here where the little star, the cutout of the star and everything, and come right on back. Okay, so I've got my box all painted, and now I'm just going to take the tiles and stick them down with the glue. So these are self-adhesive. I mean, you don't really have to put the glue on them, but I think I want to just to be safe. And for some reason, because there's a stopper in this glue. Never known them to do that before. Of course, I haven't really bought school glue for a long time, but alright. So I'm just going to take the glue and just spread it all over the back of each little tile. And I'm just going to stick them flat down on the bottom of this little tray in no particular order. Now, I didn't realize that these tiles are clear, but they are, and so I'm assuming, I think the school glue dries clear. I am really hoping that it does. We will find out. Some of them are clear, some of them aren't. Like this one right here is they're all kind of translucent, but not like, that one's not totally clear, that one in there. But see how they look when you stick them down, and you need to be real careful that you just get them side by side and even and up against the edges. But they're going to look like this whole little bottom of this tray is covered in little mosaic tiles. So like I said, I'm certainly hoping this glue dries clear. Actually going to put that one down there. I just don't want to put two that are too similar beside each other, so I didn't really want those two right beside each other. Let's see. Whoops. Let's do this arrow one next. You can put them in, obviously, however you want. Stick that one in there. And just make sure that you set them out evenly. I'm just going to put the glue in the bottom. It's a lot easier to just do it that way. Set them out evenly and up against each other. Make sure there are no spaces in there. Because unlike mosaic tile, we are not going to be using grout in this project. And I hope that they will fit. No, they don't. So one of the end ones I'm going to have to trim off. So I'm just going to take my scissors and cut it. And I'm just going to cut a little bit off first. And it needs just a tad bit more. Very, very little bit more. Okay. And there we go. So, you know, if you have to trim one down, just do it. It's okay. Let's see. I think I'll do a red one next. Maybe this one. But I'm hoping when they dry, they all dry nice and flat in here and clear. Whoops. They do slide around a lot. You have to be careful when you're putting them in to just set them up against each other. Let's see, this one's pretty cool. Let's do him next. Okay. We'll do this black feather. Yeah, they want to slide with this glue, but I think they really need the glue. I'm not sure if I'm going to resin over top of them or not. I might. But if not, they'll definitely need the glue. So, what's the next one? Let's do this one. And I'm probably actually going to need 2 packages of these. I did get a couple. Let's see, which one do I want to cut? We'll cut this one right here. I cut that one a little bit small, but I think it'll be okay. Just put it in there, make sure everybody's sitting up next to the other ones, and we'll do our next row of glue. This would probably be better if I had wood glue, but I don't. Okay. And so just finish laying all your tiles, gluing all your tiles in the bottom, and then come on back. Okay, so I've got my little tray here. I did polyurethane one coat on the outside of it just to protect it. And here's the inside. And I am going to do a layer of resin over this just because I think it would be really pretty. Bring out the colors, and I think it will seal it. So I have my resin. This is some cheapo brand Sigmong. I think I got it on Amazon. I don't know. But this is the hardener and the resin, and you mix it 1 to 1. So I'm just going to use my little measuring cups here. And I have another one of these trays that I did in white. And I really am not done painting this one yet because this Dollar Tree paint does not cover well. Let me say the white does not cover well at all. If I could get this coated enough in here, I would go ahead and pour this resin in this one. So let me just see if I can... Just needs to be mainly down at the bottom there. me see if I can coat it just a little bit better down toward the bottom, and then I'll let it dry while I'm pouring this, mixing and pouring the other resin, and then I could pour this one too. So I wouldn't have to do 2 batches of resin, which would be nice. But yeah, the Dollar Tree white paint, let me just say, it does not cover well at all. I mean, this is a light colored piece of wood, and I've probably put 4 coats on it already, and it's still just kind of sinking in. So if you want good coverage, I would suggest, now the colored paints from the Dollar Tree seem fine, but this white is just really, really, it just doesn't cover well. So yeah, if you want good coverage, I would suggest not using the Dollar Tree white. Unless you want to just paint a bunch of layers on. Okay, so I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. Okay, now I'm just going to mix my resin. I have a popsicle stick here. And have I not opened this before? Oh, I have, yeah, okay. And I'm just going to mix it 1 to 1. So I always, I'm probably going to do to the 20 ml here, because I don't need, maybe not even do that much. I don't need a whole big lot. Let's see. Yeah, I probably should do to the 20 though, because I'll need enough for both of them. I don't want it to be real thick in there. I just want it to cover the bottom. So there's the resin, or there's the hardener. Here's the resin. Okay. And I'm just going to I pour the resin into the hardener because the resin is a little bit lighter and easier to scrape out of here into the hardener. I'm just going to pour it right in there, making sure I'm scraping the sides, getting it all in there. And if you're going to err on the side of having a little bit less of one, I mean, you want to have equal parts, but if you, you know, I would definitely make sure that I have more of the hardener if I'm actually going to err on the side of having more of one, just a little bit more of the hardener. Okay, so we're just going to mix this up. And I mix kind of slowly. I'm not going to mix super slow. But you'll see it get kind of cloudy in there. Scrape the sides, make sure you're getting it really mixed up. If this has a few bubbles in it, it's really not going to show that much in this. I mean, you don't want any gigantic bubbles, but we can take the lighter to it to pop them. And I'm just mixing really well. I'm scraping the bottom, I'm scraping the sides. I just want to make sure that everything is mixed up really good. Now it'll get really clear. As you can see, it's starting to get really clear, and it won't have any cloudiness to it when it is completely mixed. And it's very important to get it completely mixed. So just mixing and mixing and mixing. I'm not whipping it or anything like a cake, but I'm kind of just mixing around. You want to try not to get super huge amount of bubbles in there. Okay, now let me get the lighter real quick. Okay, I just use a grill lighter like this. And now we got to be careful because the star is, you know, you don't want it running out the sides there. So I'm just going to start to pour it in. And I'm just going to take it and tilt it. You want to cover the whole bottom, but it does not need to be a thick layer at all. It just needs to be thick enough to cover. That's it. And what it'll do is just protect these stickers. They're really not mosaic tiles. They look like it, but it will protect them. And it might bring out a little more of the color. It definitely does that on polymer clay. I'm going to put just a little bit more in. I'm going to have to mix up some more. I will have to mix up some more for the other one, for sure. But and again, I'm just tilting it, letting it flow. You want to make sure you get it into all the corners. And just across all of the stickers, but make sure that you do not have it leaking out that star. And resin is self-leveling. I may need to put just a tad bit more. Okay, I want to make sure it's in all the corners. I'm covering everything really well, all the sides here. It's pretty, it's very shiny. Okay, so now I'm going to take my torch here and I'm just going to lightly and quickly. Does this torch have anything in it? Yeah. I'm just going to lightly and quickly go over it, and this will pop any little bubbles that are sitting on the surface. Doesn't seem to have any, really. I'm not seeing any, but... Okay. And then this will take 24 hours to cure, this resin will. So, I'm just going to set this aside. And I'm going to pull the white one over here. Now, it's not totally dry in there. But I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. I don't want to waste the resin. And these little trays from the Dollar Tree, I mean, this really dresses them up, I think. Now, I'm probably going to have to mix up a little bit more of that, so I'll let that sit there for a second. I'll go ahead and do 20 and 20 again, because I'm probably going to need that much for this. Maybe a little bit less. Oops. That out of there if there's anything left in there. Not much, but a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to set them side by side. They are equal to the eye, and I think that's close enough, to be honest with you. And I'm just going to mix this one into this one. And just making sure that I scrape everything out that I can. Okay, and I'm going to stir it up. Let me set that on something so it doesn't get that on my desk. Okay, I'm going to stir it up. See how it's cloudy in there? It gets like really cloudy looking before it's ready to pour, before it's mixed up all the way. So just keep on stirring. Till you see no more cloudiness. I'll tip this a little bit and let that kind of run. Getting the white paint all over me. That's looking clear. Scrape the sides real good, scrape the bottom, in the corners, or in the bottom of the cup. And I'm going to pour the rest of this in here. Now this one doesn't have any holes, any cutouts or anything for things to leak out of, so that's good. And you know, you really, the resin is an optional step. I just glued these down with like school glue, but if you glue them down with something a little firmer like E6000 or a construction adhesive even, then you wouldn't even have to do the resin. But I just think it's pretty. It makes it very glossy, and it's going to give this tray a really good little solid finish in the bottom. So again, I'm just coating everything, making sure that it's all coated. I'm going to run the lighter over it, and it looks like one of these little guys moved. Let me slide him back down. There we go. Now, if these aren't glued down good, they will float, so you need to watch that. If you see any of yours floating up, you'll want to push them down. I'm having trouble with this lighter. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to go over, pop any bubbles that I see. Just lightly with the lighter, it'll get out any bubbles that are in the surface. Alright, so there's that one. I'm just going to let them both sit for 24 hours until they are cured, and then I'll come back and show them to you. Okay, so here are the finished trays. So I've done 6, painted them different colors, and have used the different tile stickers on the insides of each one, and the resin, and I think they turn out so cute. Great gifts for people, just as a little project tray, or would even be cute like on a coffee bar with your creamer and sugar and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think these turn out really cute and a very inexpensive and fun little project to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'll be doing more DIYs and stuff like that, and of course all the jewelry stuff. So yep. Anyway, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.